Part of what I love about graphic design is the putting together of the elements to create an aesthetic solution. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys in this tutorial. Welcome to my weekly design training where I share free design tips with designers. Now, I have this design I received from a designer during the week. I'm going to review the design. I'm going to share what is working and what is not working in the design. And I'm going to use this to create my version of the artwork, using this to teach you guys how to achieve successful design projects. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. So let's start. First, I want to appreciate the designer that sent this to us. Thank you for doing this. Let's just start with what is working in the project. All right. So the first thing I notice here is the part of making it easy for us to see the information in the project. Very beautiful and neat. And I also like the proximity in the project here. All right. So proximity being one of the principles of design. And I also love the contrast. All right. The contrast here is so beautiful. You can easily see the title, and I'm sure you all can agree with me that aside from this element here, we don't have any other elements in this project that carry this type of style. And this really made the contrast here, beautiful. And I also like the contrast on the title part here. Excuse me, on the date part here, where, we have this red, making us find it easy to see this information in this box. All right. And the reason why this is easy for us to see is because of the warm color, which is the red color we have behind the text. And this really push out this information here and made us find it easy to, to see. And the other part that I love in the project here is this information that we have at the bottom here. And why this is also easy for us to see is because of the way the designer use colors that contrast each other. All right. The background is white and then the text color is black. And this really made us find it easy to see, the information there. All right. And another thing I like here is the part of making background serve as background, which is part of what I always teach you guys. The image collage that we have in the project here really made what we have on the foreground here really capture our attention. All right. So when you're using image in your background, and if the job of the image is to serve as the background, it's always best to turn down the opacity of the image. All right. I'm talking of the visibility of the image. Make it go lower so that it's going to do what it needs to do in the project. So yeah, that's what I noticed that really, spice this project. All right. The part of the unity is what I think the designer did not really, do well. And I'm going to quickly explain what I'm trying to say. You see, unity is also part of the principles of design. Unity is what makes it look like every element you have in your project belong together. You see, as a designer, if you can understand this part of unity, you'll find yourself achieving successful design. So why I'm talking about the unity part here is this. If you look at this element here, it looks more like a nail or screw that is screwed on the wall or on the surface. And this here making us feel this background is actually a board. All right. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what I'm sharing here. It's going to help you. So this stuff we have here is a board, meaning that anything we place on this board now should serve as a print because of the way we have this screw with the shadow under it. Now, where there's problem with the unity here is this part of the shadow we have on this title. If you're going to apply any shadow to this, all right, for me, I don't think you need shadow on it, all right, because you're putting shadow behind it is making us feel this is a paper, like something you can feel that is about to drop. Now that can work if that is the goal, if that's the message. But if that is not the message, I don't expect you to have a shadow here. I expect you to just put the text on the board and make it look like the text is printed on the board. And the reason why this is like that is because the way designers put together elements in graphic design is not different from the way you set up your studio when you want to take picture. It's not different from the way you see movie directors setting up a scene for a particular shoot. Then the other part that I noticed that did not really flow well here is the part of the telling story. All right. And that's why before you work on any design project, uh, before you get to your workstation, it's always best to define the function of the project, what the project need to do. So this is the second option that we receive from the designer. I decided to put this up because I know the designer may go, hey, Caesar, but I did one that really tells story, that explain what the project is talking about. Now, when I saw this, all right, there's this thing I've been wanting to share with designers, all right, that this artwork reminded me of sharing it with you guys. You see, whenever you're asked to work on design project, guys, there are times when the title of the project is not really saying what the illustration you're supposed to use is talking about. I'm saying, for example, the way we have this part of heaven. When they say heaven, it doesn't mean you should go and get the picture of heaven. No, 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 no. You don't. No. Your job as a designer is to first understand what the project is talking about, what the story behind what inspired the title. And that's the reason why, as a creative, before working on any design project, it's always advisable for you to ask questions. It's always advisable to sit with the client or the boss and ask why or what exactly inspired this title. There are times where the title will point at the idea you have for it in terms of what the title, what in terms of the words that you have in the title. But it's always best for you to sit with the client and ask them questions. So the reason why this designer use all this cloud image here is because of the word heaven that we have here. And I'm very much sure that when you go above the cloud, you're not still going to get to heaven. So this is not necessary. All right, this is not really necessary. Okay, so the part of the telling story and the project here is not balanced. I'm going to create a new document and I'm going to use the Instagram portrait frame for this. All right. Then I'm going to say create. Now, the artwork is talking about heaven on earth. To my own understanding, I understand that heaven is a place where things are working. Heaven is beautiful based on what we are taught. Aha, good. Heaven is beautiful. Heaven is a place where there's peace. It's also a place where there's much more than enough. If I'm going to get the right illustration to really depict this, because the idea is to show heaven on earth. All right. Like if you really want to show example of heaven on earth, that's what they're trying to talk about here. That's the type of illustration that we're to use here. So if you're talking about heaven on earth, it means the illustration we're going to use should be more of something around one of these options that I have here. And if you're lucky, your illustration can pick two of the options that I dropped. So what are those things that when you see them, that's something you can't count? Like it's more than what you can count or what man can count. That's one of the example of showing signs of heaven on earth. What are those things, or what is that thing that you know that nothing can stop its way from moving. That's another good example of heaven on earth. That it has been there for years. It's always moving. Nothing can stop it. That's another good example of heaven on earth. Because remember, I said walking here. So it means it's always that thing always walk. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop working. Even when the whole world or everybody is complaining of going through difficulties, that part where that thing is, nothing stop is just continue doing its thing. That's another good example of heaven on earth. I'm going to use water to depict what the artwork is talking about. The reason why I'm using water is because, most especially a river. Let's just say river. Okay. The reason is because you see that parts where the water goes through. There are some things like stones, rocks. In fact, there are times where there'll be a side of the river that will go dry, but the water will still find its way, all right, to still pass through that thing that is stopping it. And if it sees that, okay, yes, that thing is stopping it, all right, is stopping it from moving, then you see the water going above or trying to go above that or whatever thing that is trying to stop it. That's one of the example of heaven on earth. Anyone who is enjoying heaven on earth, when things are trying to stop the person still go above that thing. When the whole world is complaining of hardship or challenges, whoever is enjoying heaven on earth won't even have that feeling of what is going on. So the right illustration for this should be this. We get calls a lot from people who are looking forward to go into design but can't afford to pay for design school. We are looking at getting space and tools in order to meet our goals. And this is where we need you to support us with your donation. So if you have any amount you want to support us with, simply make use of the account details on the screen. And if you're outside Nigeria and you wish to support us, kindly use the seller link below the account details. Now, we want to especially thank those of you who have been supporting us with your donation. Thank you. So the image we're going to use today is going to be this. So I'm going to drag this and drop here. So I'll convert it to a smart object. All right. So I'll hit Ctrl T to activate free transform and make this bigger. So this should go this low. All right. So this area here is where I plan to put the information on the project. So, but right now my image is not really nice. We can't blend this like this because of this, tree that we have here that is cropped out of the frame. Let's use the pen tool. Wondering why. Okay. I'll change this to a part. All right. Then I'll make my selection. Control and enter to convert that part to a marquee. Then I'll go to select and hit select a mask here. So I'm going to use the refine tool here to select the trees. I'm going to hit the OK button here. So I'm going to drag that and drop here like that and position this here. So we added our own heels to the scene like that. So I'll take out that stuff there. So guys, remember to take that out when you are recreating this project. So I'm going to drag this and drop here. Then I'll convert this to a smart object. So I'm going to add the layer mask to this and I'm going to select the brush tool and I'll make this, let's make this 15. Yeah. So why I'm making this move here is because I want to be able to control the strength of my brush. So I'm going to switch to black here and make my brush size bigger with the open square bracket. And I'm going to softly apply the brush All right. So the next thing we're going to do now is I want to have touch of something more yellow like on the landscape view that we have in the background. All right. And the reason why I want to have little touch of yellow is because we have touch of yellow in green. And why I'm making this move is because I'm trying to create unity here by selecting the landscape image. All right. So I'm going to activate color balance here and I'll move this in like that. So the sky image. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I want to have um, this green blue color on the sky. All right, because the green here is what is actually inspiring the color I'm using in the project here. So I'm going to activate hue saturation and say I only want this to affect the blue sky image. So I'm going to select the clip icon and I'm going to play with the hue here. So I'm going to use the hue to change the color like that. Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to move it here. This I'm going to select color balance and say I only want this to affect this sky image, and I'm going to move this back a bit, just small. And the reason why I'm doing this is because of all these white, you know, cloud. I mean, yeah, the white cloud we have in the project, and this is looking exactly what I'm looking for. Then for the trees here, all right. The tree here is looking sick, and we're talking about heaven on earth. So the color need to pop. And you see how I'm explaining my process here. The way you play with color in your project also have something to do with the success of the project. Is how we evoke emotion in graphic design. Okay. So the tree here is looking sick. So what I'll do is I'm going to yeah, where is the image? Yeah, this is it. So what I'll do is I'm going to activate selective color and I'm going to say I only want this to affect the uh the three layer, all right? And I'll change my color channel here to yellow. The opposite of magenta here is green. The opposite of yellow here is blue. All right? Yeah. I hope somebody catch that. All right. So let's move this. Let's add, sorry, it should be, I should add blue, sorry. I should add cyan. So I'm going to add cyan to the image now by moving this forward. Now, the reason why this is working on the grid image is because yellow and blue are the two colors that make green. The lighter part of the green is where we'll mostly see the effect of the yellow. And that's why I'm applying this move to the yellow channel. All right. I want somebody to write that down somewhere so you won't forget. So I'll move this side here and this should move here. Now you see what our green color is now beginning to look more pop. So I'll move this to this side and you see our green is looking richer now. You see, it's not always nice to have too many uh same level of brightness in your project because yeah, my water here is bright, all right, and here is also bright. So what I'll do is to reduce the brightness of the water, but to do that I need to draw a lasso selection. So I hold on shift and add more to the selection there. Then I'll activate curve and push this down a bit and just move this down a bit. And this is better. All right. Yeah, this is better. Good. Then for the sky here, all right, we need to have we need to have this touch of blue from the river on the sky. So what I'll do is for the where are you? For this, yes, for the hue saturation, I'm going to select the brush tool and take the hue saturation away from the upper part of the sky. All right. So I'm going to make this a bit bigger and make sure my foreground here is set to black and take it away. All right. From there, like that's good. Then I'll go to the very last layer and create a new layer and call this brush. Now I'm teaching you guys what most movie poster designers do here. Then I'll hold down Alt and sample the color. Now, if you look at the blue color we have on the ocean here, or the river, excuse me, you'll find out that they almost share the same color with the sky. And that's why I'm picking the same color again, and I'm going to apply it here to create that unity. But as it is right now, we are losing the texture from the sky, and that is also important. We need to make sure we have that sky texture. I'm talking of the clouds, so we need to turn down the opacity of this a bit so we can see that texture. Okay, so let's just move this up a bit like that. Then, because this is where we're going to place our information, I'm going to add curve to this. So this side is going to be more darker than the bottom part of the project. And I'm going to explain something to you guys before we start adding the text. So I'm going to move this down and push this down like that. All right. So my sky and the river here should not share the same value in terms of color. So what I'll do is I'm going to hit Control I to reverse the mask and select the brush tool. Make sure that my foreground here is set to white, and I'm going to bring back the curve like that. Okay, now I'm going to advise every one of you to try this move and don't stop trying it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm still going to create a new layer. Then select Alt, hold down Alt, and pick the same color here and still call this brush. All right, because I know, yeah, I'm going to be putting some stuff here. So I want this side here to be more darker like that. Now look at how beautiful this is. Now, whatever we place here now is going to surely look nice. All right, it's going to look very, very nice. All right, so I'm going to paste the title. All right, so I'm going to hit Control and V to paste a title there, and I'll change the color of this to white. All right, so you can always use sans serif character for your title. All right, you can use sans serif, and but for me, I'm not going to use sans serif, and I'll tell you guys why. You see, we're talking about heaven on earth here, and anything that got to do with heaven on earth is more of something rich. All right, something, you know, I told you guys is something related to much more than enough. All right, so how we can always depict that style with our title is to use a character that depicts luxury. And what is that character that depicts luxury? We're talking of modern characters here. Modern character here, there are so many modern characters you can use, but for me, I have one that I normally use here to really depict that something luxury, something expensive, and that character name is, so it's called Didots. So I'm going to use let's use this style here. Yeah, I like this. Let's go more to let's use medium. Yeah, I prefer this. All right, yeah. So then I'm going to drag and drop on the new layer icon and put the next information. So I'll copy that. All right, I really want to give this that rich color effect to really make people know that yes, when we're talking about heaven, we're talking about riches. So the type of color I'm going to use here is going to come from this here, and this is going to have that gold like green color on it. So I'm going to move this down. All right, to place, I'm going to place this in between green and yellow, and I'm going to pick this color here. All right, I'm going to pick this gold color here, and I'm going to copy the code. Hit the OK button, and apply it to the title. Boom, like that. Still make this a bit and make it brighter. So why I'm making this a bit brighter is because of the value of my background. We need to achieve contrast there. All right, so for this, I'm still going to make the same move. So I'll pick the color and sample the same color here and hit the OK button. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to achieve gradient on my title there. So I'm going to select the brush tool, sample the same color here, and come here and make this dark like that, and make my brush smaller. Make the first click. Sorry, there's something I'm supposed to do here. This need to go back to 100. Don't forget. So first click and second click, and I'm going to hold on Alt and clip this to the title there. Then I'll make the same move again by first off, make a copy of this, and this should be above this. Hold on Alt and clip this and move this up like that. So I'm still going to make the same move, make a copy, push this up here, hold on Alt and clip this to this. So, but right now, we can hardly see the information there. Why? Because our sky is still looking bright. So we need to now play with the value by going to curve adjustment and push this down to really make that information there visible. Now you see, we can easily see that information there now. But this is affecting the whole project. So I'm going to select the brush tool and increase my brush size. Let's make sure this is on black and take it away from this side. Now I'll move this above this, then activate the free transform and hold down shift and rotate this and make this bigger. All right, and we can, yes, can just push this here and rotate it this way. Go to filter, blur gallery, and say field blur. All right, so this should be out of focus, and I'll explain why I'm making this move here. So this should be somewhere here. So this is going to serve like a tree, all right, that is close to the frame, like that, all right, or close to the camera. So I'm going to hit Control J and hit Control T, right click and flip this, and this can come here, and we can even rotate this like that. But this is covering this information here, so we're going to take it out. So I'm going to hold on Alt and click on the layer mask icon. I'll make the same move here, Alt, click, like that. So this is going to call the attention of the viewers to this information we have here. So we can just move this out a bit like so. And so then the other thing I think we still need to do here is, or we can do here is, if we still want to boost the color, it's very easy. So just activate hue saturation and increase the saturation to make the colors in the project pop. All right. And I'm sure if we send this to your clients, I'm sure they will approve it. All right. Yeah. Except if the client is all those type that doesn't like simplicity. Okay. All right. Thanks. I'm sure you pick one or two things from this tutorial. Now, if you're able to achieve any project with what you learned from this tutorial, kindly post it on your Instagram page and remember to tag me. My Instagram handle is at Ceasar Graphics. And if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. And guys, let's be a blessing to all the designers. Let's share this video with them. So simply make use of the share button and share this video with other creatives. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.